I want to get your perspective on this, because what I'm hearing from you is that if we can put our educators and our principals and our administrators in a position to be influencers and thought leaders on these video platforms, that can drive engagement from and potentially lead to enrollments because of the the way it funnels. But at the same, and so on one hand, I want to encourage these professionals to do cool things on TikTok and on social media, and when it's done well, not only does it create benefits for the school, but it also helps enrich that particular professional. You can turn a teacher in one classroom into something of a celebrity, of a thought leader who's out giving TED Talks. That being said, I have also seen plenty of examples of it going wrong, of a teacher in a TikTok video bad-mouthing their school or accidentally divulging the private information of a student or family. And so how do you advise that schools handle this balance so that they can use this very powerful form of media as a force for good and not have it potentially ruin the career of a teacher?
Yeah, there has to be an operating framework between schools and their teachers and social media. It doesn't necessarily have to, in speaking to a lawyer, maybe put the earmuffs on for a second. But I would
Yeah, I'll just take
encourage
my
it to
headphones
be,
off. Go ahead,
there you
just
go,
tell
there you
everybody.
go.
Yeah.
I would just encourage everyone to make it as plain spoken as possible. Here are some basics. You do not show students' faces unless there's some sort of agreement between students and parents and the schools that is part of their enrollment contract and that it's a known thing that happens. But typically, you're not showing student interactions. Number two, before you air something on social media, you've brought it to the organization's leadership, right? That this is something that, if shared, often issues, when we talk about, regardless of charter school teachers and teachers in general, when they've got a grievance, it's because they haven't been heard. So we as leaders have to give our charter school teachers and teachers in general the ability to air their challenges, whether that's down to open office hours with our school leaders, or there's an actual process for delivering that sort of feedback. You have to give teachers the ability to say, this is what I'm struggling with. Not actually creating that content and publishing it during school hours, right? That we're not somehow taking away from the learning experience. Maybe we're adding on to it, but if the recording happens, we're not sitting there and actually doing it in between breaks. It happens potentially out of school hours. You may have to, depending upon situations you've had in the past, have an approval framework and process to say what can be shared and what cannot be shared, that at least allows school leadership to see what sort of content is being created. All of that really comes down to the relationship that a school has with its teachers. But what we know is that people are attracted to ordinary people, right? That the trend lines tell us in social media that gone are the days are these influencers that have these perfect lives. What people are attracted to, especially in TikTok, especially in Instagram these days, and Instagram Reels and the evolution of these social networks, is real, ordinary people. And that means exactly, it's authenticity down to the wire. It is allowing our greatest advocates, which are our students, which are our teachers, which are our board members, which are people in the community, to act as advocates for us, whether they're doing that in person or whether they're doing it online.